people being able to walk to get something to eat or walk to the beach. Those are all things that will improve everybody's quality of life.
Because I think at our stage of life we need that. We need to feel that we can have some fun and not feel guilty.
We look for people who care about our seniors and who want to work at Wesley Palms.
Because everybody's idea of what's best is
Right.
very different.
I'm looking forward to signing up.
Yeah, we'll have a place for you.
Our next guest is a medical doctor who practices as an integrated care physician, and he assists patients and their family members through complex medical situations as well as end of life. With that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Bob Buslander.
Thank you.
And Dr. Bob, if we may say that.
Please.
Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
And we know life is a journey, and your journey went from UCLA, where you earned your earned your degree as a physician, ER doctor, to integrated care doctor today. Tell us what that means, or tell us about your journey to get there.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. It's a journey that I wasn't certainly planning. It wasn't where I thought I would end up, but it's where I clearly belong, and I'm grateful to have found this path. So I spent about 22 years as an emergency physician. After finishing medical school, that to me just felt like the way that I could practice the most pure form of medicine, and it was a wonderful career, a lot of wonderful experiences. And in practicing emergency medicine, I got to firsthand see a lot of the challenges and struggles in the system, and a lot of the challenges and struggles that patients and families went through. And I became very aware of the challenges that were especially prevalent for older adults and those dealing with complex health issues. I had about 10 years into my career, I had a change that came over me, and a new awareness when I had a friend who was 32 die of melanoma. And I helped him at the end of his life, and I brought in, along with his family, the hospice team to guide him. And until then, I'd really never known what hospice did. And I experienced something that was so profound that it changed the way that I think about healthcare and the way I think about what we can, as physicians and caregivers, provide for patients. And that really had a huge impact on me, and it planted a seed. And then I continued practicing emergency medicine. I knew that I was going to be transitioning into a different path. Didn't know when. I came to San Diego about 4 years ago, and I had just sort of an epiphany shortly after I got here. And I realized at that point that I was really called to help people at the end of their life, to help them die and to help them prepare for the best possible life as things were coming to an end.
Your integrated medical service combines both medical and non-medical services. So can you explain a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So while I was practicing in this traditional model of palliative care and hospice, it became very clear to me that there were still some huge gaps and holes in the care that was being delivered. And one of the big gaps was, especially at the end of life, the physician is sort of taken out of the equation. All of that is handled predominantly by nurses. At a time when people really need the most care, they're the most vulnerable, there's the most fear, the physician is usually not present any longer. So number one, I wanted to change that. I wanted to be a very strong presence in the house, in the home, and with the family to guide them and provide
Because it's not just
care.
the patient, it's the family
Absolutely.
as
well. They're often, and they could be coming from different parts of the world and trying to figure out how to be of support, and they have major challenges. And then in addition, there's a lot of people who have all these other types of services that become necessary to keep somebody living safely with dignity in their own homes. In-home caregivers, nursing support, physical therapists, nutrition, you name it. And there has been nobody, especially a physician, helping to coordinate and integrate those things. So they've all been sort of piecemealed, and it puts incredible stress on the families. So we help to take on coordinating and integrating those types of things to fully support people.
And from your non-medical services, I know my mom's in the final stages of vascular dementia. Music from her era, from the 40s, just you can still see her beam from
Yeah,
inside
it's
out.
powerful. It lights them up.
Yep.
So that was the other piece of this is I wanted to try to bridge the Western medicine with what people are looking for out of Eastern medicine, or not even Eastern medicine, integrative type services, a more holistic approach. We look at each human being as a person who has a diverse set of needs, and then we try to figure out what we can do to fulfill those needs. Peace of mind and comfort and dignity are top priorities. So we have a music therapist, we have massage therapists, we have acupuncturist, we have a gourmet chef who focuses on nutrition, and we provide physical therapy or restorative yoga.
I mean, I can't wait for this to explode
Yeah.
in San Diego and elsewhere. The other thing we want to talk about is your new position, the medical director at Comfort Keepers. Dr. Bob, tell us what that entails and what that means.
About 12 years ago, I started a company that does in-home care for seniors. It's called Seniority Life Care at Home, and that's in Northern California, in the community that I used to live in. And I recognized that there was just not enough, that those caregivers were providing an incredible service for people in their homes, but no one recognized how much they did, and so the physician was completely disconnected from that. When I met the owners of Comfort Keepers here, Matthew and Sherry, we just had a very similar philosophy about caring for people and providing high quality. And so I make recommendations for certain services to my patients and their families, and I want to make sure that I'm only using the highest quality providers and that I know the heart of the people who are providing those services. And so Comfort Keepers approached me about helping to do some training with their caregivers and help share the philosophy of palliative care and make sure that they had some additional support at a higher level for the clients that they were serving. And it was an opportunity for me to know that when I'm making recommendations for that kind of care, I know the level of care that's being delivered, and if there's an issue, I can go right to the people who are in charge.
Well, we really thank you for joining us today, and we really applaud this journey that you have taken over the last 22 years to move into integrated care medicine. And Patty and I are just huge advocates of the word palliative care and end-of-life and end-of-life quality care, and you're bringing this together, and we really can't wait to see it explode on the scene here in San Diego, and we're very excited about the prospects. So stick around. Senior Stay or Go. We'll be right back.